Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today, my special guest is Charlie, and we're in Northern Ireland. And Charlie, this is the name of your farm?
Yep, Brockgammon.
Brockgammon. And Charlie, you've got a unique farm here. You gave us a tour today. Could you go, I know you're a busy fellow, but could you briefly kind of go over what you're all about here?
Yeah, absolutely. So we started the farm back in 2011. Really, we started off specializing in kid goat and roast veal. So they were all the males that were born onto dairy farms. They were being either euthanized at birth or live shipped into Europe. And we said, like, at a time when we're questioning global food security, this is protein that we should be valuing more than we are. Mm-hmm. And we set about raising them. Back then, regenerative wasn't really a thing, so forward-thinking farming was our tagline. And we basically built up a farm business model around that, which really sort of concentrates on making a more holistic enterprise and including them as byproducts back into a more circular system.
Well, we met you at the Fields Good conference up at Glenarm Castle this last week, and you were, Jan got to visit with you, and then I got to visit with you, and you were supplying the meat.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you had a really nice sandwich. I had a sandwich of it to die for.
I think it was the veal steak sandwich, and that had raw milk, blue cheese sauce in it, and then a slow gin jelly.
Okay.
So
it was unbelievable. It was really good. This guy knows what he's doing. So I went and saw, and he was cooking all your meat South American style.
Yeah, it's an asado over an open fire, so 7-hour cook.
Yeah.
So
you mount the meat, and then you have the fire kind of off the side of it.
Yeah, asado a la cruz. So they're up on a cross. We had a goat on a spit. We had half a pig. We had some Belted Galloway briskets, and we had some roast veal briskets.
Yeah.
So
I think I had the Belted Galloway brisket.
Yeah, the flavour of that fat
with
was
the flat.
Yeah, so really good.
Well, you've taken it another step. So you came back to the farm. Your parents and you and your wife, you all run this. It was a rundown farm when you came here. In other words, it was all just basically the cattle been turned out on it.
Yeah, like a lovely guy lived in the house, the cottage that Becky and I now live in, but he had really bad arthritis. So he'd left it for the tenants to look after the land, and they'd looked after the ring fence, but everything internally had fallen down. We had like gorse, which is a big prickly bush, spreading right out into the pastures. All of the walls and ditches were falling in. It's been a long 10 years of sort of rebuilding, putting back in hedgerows and stuff. Like we're 2 miles from the north coast, really cold winds, strong winds. So sort of trying to get that microclimate rebuilt.
Well, your agroforestry, what you're doing out here is really phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, what you've done to the hedgerows and all the plantings you've done, it's unbelievable.
Kind of talk
It's
about
a food forest.
Literally, you're turning from that 2D farming into 3D farming. You're creating a microclimate which protects the berry trees. The berries and fruits are giving us product to sell through the farm shop, added value. We're not taking away from the pasture too much. 22 metre rows, so it's still croppable. You saw there today that the pigs are out ploughing up the grass. Behind that, we've got the cover crops. Year after that, we come through 2 acres of vegetables. So that supplies the catering trailer into the
Not
farm
just vegetables, all kinds of unique vegetables. You dug a purple potato for us today.
Yeah, purple potatoes. So.
It was purple. I mean, literally purple all the way through.
No, what else? Got carrots, like
kale.
Everything that you would want to buy in a shop. As a farm shop, we have to offer like a complete supermarket shop, as it were.
So you do a lot of farm tours here. Yesterday you had like 50 people show up, and you all did was it a bee walk?
It wasn't the bee walk, so we've a bat walk tonight.
The bat walk.
So the farm tour was more sort of they're tourists coming into Ireland, and it's to show them a taste of sort of rural life. Real farm to fork journey. So we show them the farm. They get to eat the produce that we produce off the land.
So you feed them?
Feed them, and just tell the story about how we farm and how we integrate with Northern Ireland. How literally the terroir, the elements create the food that we eat,
So you're that link between the farm and where people go into a store, they think the food comes out of the store, but it actually comes off of a farmer.
Well, exactly that, and it's really important for people to be able to like understand the journey and the process. And if they go into a shop, they're not buying food that's readily available. They're buying food that the shop has chosen for them to be able to buy.
Right.
And they should have more freedom of choice.
You're about using the whole animal.
Yeah, so like because we specialize in kid goat and roast veal, there is no wholesale market. we have to get nose-to-tail utilization. So we would go down to the likes of Dublin and Belfast to farmers markets. People want offal, but they can't get offal.
Yeah.
That's not because the offal's not available. It's because that route to market has been broken.
Yep.
You know, the industries that are in that have decided that it's not cost efficient for them to supply.
Right.
You know, it's easier to bulk it all together and send it off to exotic markets. We're going down, and people are like, oh, finally, we haven't had this since we were kids, and they love it. You know, this is some of like the most nutritious parts of the animal, and they can't get access to it.
So your market is not only marketing, you've got this on-farm store here, you also do classrooms, you're always teaching people fermenting, smoking, butchery class, cheese making, herbalism, foraging, kids club, and the vegetable plot tour. So you've got it all going on here.
We're busy.
You're very busy. And you also hit the farmers market in Dublin?
So I do Dublin every Saturday. Mum does Belfast every Saturday, and that'll be with our butcher's counter. And then obviously, you know, when you go out with your wares, sometimes you get leftovers. People don't want to buy oxtail, or they don't want to buy shanks. So that comes home, and that's where the street food trailer comes in. So we then cook that up in the street food trailer. The same customer then has a dish which has it in. They're like, that was really tasty. What was that? Oh, it's the shank. So then the next week they come back and they buy the shanks from the butcher's counter. And you're re-educating people about how to cook. I mean,
Right.
like, in Ireland we have the Irish stew. Like that is
Never heard of
made.
that.
So it's like a traditional lamb dish. You make it with the shoulder.
Okay.
But nowadays people go in and they buy leg steaks to make an Irish stew. And you're literally buying the most expensive cut to produce a dish which is designed to use a tough cut and make it tender
the bone.
and sweet, and the flavor of the bone, the stock. And people have lost that connection, that skill.
Yeah.
And when you then explain to them, no, you use the cheaper, lesser cuts, suddenly you get more affordability in your pocket because you understand that nose-to-tail process. Or, for example, we have celebrity chefs who maybe do a piece on like lamb shanks. Lamb shanks go through the roof for price. You're like, whoa, use neck chops. You can still do the same dish, but you're avoiding that like variation in the market and stuff. But
Yes.
that comes with knowledge about carcass breakdown and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, people have lost that.
Well, of everything you do out here on the farm, I mean, you just took us on a heck of a tour here. And thank you for your time, because I know you're a busy fella, Charlie. But of everything you do out here, what's the most gratifying that you do?
Well, probably it's meeting the customers, and it's getting that acknowledgement for the hard work that you put in. And like, people want what we offer. And
so you have a personal journey story to tell.
And like people really value it. Like you can see that they have disconnect and they want to be reconnected. And if we can provide that, like it's self-gratifying. Like we were talking, you'd be running around in the mud with the pigs, having an awful day, getting soaked to the skin, freezing cold when you come in. When you go to the farmer's market the next day, someone tells you about the pork belly that they cooked, crispy crackling, they did it with a certain sauce, and you're like, that's my supper tomorrow night.
There you go.
Like it's just really, really rewarding.
Well, we walked into a field over here, folks, and the gorse, he'd got it back to the edge of the hedge. He'd planted all these beautiful little trees in and with the old original hedge. It's filled in now. I mean, that fence could fall down. There's nothing going through that fence. But you're telling me you got here that the rocks are scattered out in the field, and you're literally, you and your wife are out with a crowbar prying these rocks up to get them back to the rock where they came from, and it looks like a salad bar out there. It's beautiful. It really does. I mean, some beautiful forages out there.
No, it is. It's coming together.
That's got to be gratifying.
It is. Do you know what? Seeing the hedges grow, seeing the trees grow. The trees probably, because the trees really required like a microclimate. When we first planted trees, they were stunted. They weren't going anywhere. As the hedges developed, suddenly these leaders are starting to poke their heads up, and you're getting height. And that's really satisfying.
You made the comment where the hedges are, where the trees are, the forages now grow really well, and when it gets too far from the hedge, not the gorse, but the other one, the rushes come in.
Yeah, so like literally you have this little microclimate created by the hedge. We have such a strong coastal wind. It is so cold in the spring. And it just gives that little microclimate, the grass gets up, and then like you say, the compaction, you can see just the rushes don't want to grow up where the hedges are spreading out. So.
That's pretty cool. Well, we're gonna wrap it up because I know you're busy, but I sure appreciate your time, Charlie.
And before we go, I'm gonna do a pan of this lovely shop. Just before we go, what this
So,
was,
Before that, to get in touch with you,
Brockhammond.
Rockham, you can actually put that on your website. That is your website.
Yeah, we've a website. I'm really bad at updating it, but it is there.
Yeah.
And then we've got all the social medias.
and Google
Perfect.
Map.
Perfect.
But anyway,
Google Map
real,
is if you're trying to find
real
us.
quick, this was, I'm gonna zoom out. This was what building before?
So this would have been like an old farm building. You can see up on the sidewalls where the hayloft would have been. And you can just see how it's changed over time. Like in the 70s, they got bigger machinery. So they turned from a pitched roof into a curved roof. They made the doors bigger.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a tractor shed when we came here. And now it's our farm shop and cafe. But everything's a mess because we've abandoned
You have a
it.
class tonight,
So, yeah.
so you do, it's a multi-purpose room.
Yeah, exactly. We've got a kitchen at the back, so that's where we prep all the food
Oh, yeah.
from.
And so these are the cheeses that you import, or you
So-
bring in?
Yeah, there are some farmhouse cheeses, so other like-minded farmers that we get off. And then salami, yeah.
You just picked up some of this.
So that's sucuk, so that's like a Turkish-style beef salami, but we've made that with the rose veal, so a
Okay.
bit of a spice to it.
So
it's-
those will be great for your Christmas baskets,
so yeah,
folks.
Christmas hampers, that's the plan for those.
Yep.
Okay, well,
Yeah, well, thank you, Charlie, and I'm gonna let Jan just do a span around here, and folks,
I already did while we were
yep,
chatting.
we'll see y'all next time. Take care.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you.